Hello and welcome. We're going to check out another stack of packs from the 1990 Pro Set Football and see if we could pull some big time names or some big time errors. Over here, we have our podium. The best card that we find will go on there until there's a better one, and there's only one remaining at the end, which will be our champion of the day. We'll talk cards, we'll talk some players, and values as well, to see if there's anything that you could learn from as we go along, as well as have a good time opening up some packs. So here we go. Let's see what we've got. So first pack here, we have our Super Bowl number 7. And I've been noticing these Super Bowl cards are really roughed up on the corners. Even though they're coming right out of the pack, the cards below them aren't as messed up. So I wonder if there was something in that production process. But all part of the 90s cards. They're usually never going to always be perfect. Tim Rosenbach. Donald Igwebuike. Joe Buggle. All right, Joe Montana, card number 2. So there's something that we want to look for in this card. There's an error card. Here's the popular, Joe Montana, great looking card. So on the error card, when they reference Jim Kelly, the error card also lists 3,521 yards that Joe Montana had next to the Jim Kelly. And so if we look down here, we will see, let me see if I can get that. There we go. Yep. So right there next to Jim Kelly, we do see 3,521. So this is the error card. Let's give it some gas. All right, way to go. In a PSA 10, this is worth around, $50, $60 or so. 10s are hard to get, but this looks pretty nice. So we are going to put it into a sleeve, and then we'll check it out later and see about if it's worthy of sending in to get graded or not. But for right now, we're going to be real gentle because the 90s cards are especially delicate to any kind of corner wear or surface rubs and things like that. So we'll just very gently sleeve it up, and Joe Montana will now take our podium spot. Well deserved. Good start. Let's see what we've got going. Can't really beat that. Cornelius Bennett. Rod Woodson. Let's see what we've got. Let me just move this here, move that there. There we go. All right, Tony Casales. Jim Wilkes. Mike Dahl. Vinny Testaverde. Alvin Walton. Mike Wilker. Kevin Butler. And Michael Coffer. That card color and that number is right near our Barry Sanders. We want card 102. Here's card 99. Obviously, this is the Lions blue, so Barry's card has that same blue. So when we see that, we start to get a little bit excited, and maybe we will see that in person with Barry shortly. Time will tell, but for now, let's keep on checking. And again, here we have the Super Bowl card, dented corner. So it must have been production process because the cards below it in every pack so far have been relatively fine. They're 90s cards, but fine. And these Super Bowl corners have been real messed up. So for that, here's what I think we all think. Absolutely. And we continue. Ernie Jones. David Fulker. Interesting. Again, we get the double card for him back to back. Nothing of wild collectible value, but just cool to see that packing abnormality, or maybe intention. Who knows? Felix Wright. Warren Moon. Max Montoya. Michael Walter. Jeff Lageman. John Williams. John Stevens. Carl Lee. Anthony Munoz. I feel like we just pulled this pack. Bruce Wilkerson. Wow, really interesting kind of roller line. So if you see here, I'll try to get the angle right. It's going to be more apparent on the front. There you go. You can kind of see this is this middle dip. And up here you could feel like a bump, and up here you could feel a bump. And you could see it there. So whatever roller this went through, ran through pretty rough. But interesting just to kind of feel that and see it. All right. Next one up, Paul Farron. And that is that pack. So we're going strong with Joe Montana, the error card on the back. And let's see what else we could pull. I'm rooting for a Bo Jackson next. What would you want to see? All right, we got Super Bowl 16. Jim Jensen. Christian Okoye. Donald, we just went through these, I think, like maybe last pack. Tim Hendricks. All right, so this card is a Hall of Fame selection. It can be worth around $30, $40 or so as a PSA 10. So we will tuck him into a sleeve and evaluate him later. But definitely a cool find. And anytime you get a Hall of Famer from any era, that's significant. So we will tuck him in there and keep on cruising. John Offerdahl. Tim Worley. Billy Maas, or Bill Maas. I haven't met him yet. Can't call him Billy. Pat Leahy. Chuck Knox. Andre Waters. Randall McDaniel. That's fun to say. Kevin Ross. Mervin Fernandez. Aha. And again, we got that. There's like that roller mark right there. And it looks like, I think the last one, if I'm not mistaken, was also on the Raiders. Let me see. Yeah, it was a Bruce Wilkerson 159 of the Raiders. And here we have 152. So maybe that Raiders set of Prince was on the roller hard or something. Ricky Netiel. All right, moving on to the next one. We're doing well. We got Joe Montana, and right now we're pulling out Super Bowl number 6, Cowboys and Dolphins. Tim Rosenbach. Kelvin Martin. Dean Basucci. Dean Basucci. I think we got that one. Franco Harris. Hall of Fame selection. Pretty cool right there. Boomer Esiason. Keith Jackson. It's a cool little black background, it looks like. And he's lit from the front. Definitely a cool photo there. Tom Rothman. Freeman McNeil. Norm Johnson. Don Shula. Welcome to the show. Jerry Rice. All right. Let's go with Jerry, card number 295, around $40 in a PSA 10. So we will put him into a sleeve and check him out. But very cool to find Jerry, and a very 49ers heavy stack so far. We got the Joe Montana, we got the Jerry Rice, and let's see what we've got coming up next. But definitely some good ones. Andre Reed, that's a cool one. Greg Townsend, Troy Aikman. All right. We're getting the quarterbacks now in our scratcher, and we go to our next pack. Super Bowl 18. It looks like, oh no, there's some white card edging on there. Definitely some paper fragments from this set. And Rich Camarillo, Ken Norton. All right, we're getting some new names in here, which means maybe some new cool ones. Jim Jeffcoat. All right, another Joe Montana. Here is card number 8. So very cool one. Scott Redisick. We got Jerome Brown. Gary Zimmerman. Ken O'Brien. Brian Milliard. John Elway. There we go. Great card, great quarterback. Felix Wright. James Brooks. And Tim Brown. Aha, we see again on this Raiders card, this is the third one, those roller marks. So it must have definitely been something with those Raiders cards from this run. Chris Spielman. And our next pack. Now we're hitting a groove. Super Bowl number 10. Again, super messed up corner there. So something was up with this run. It looks like the Super Bowl cards got dinged and the Raiders cards got rolled. 326, Wilbur Marshall. Jack Party, head coach. And that's 2 Jack Parties in a row. We got another double stuff. Thurman Thomas. Jim Kelly. Very, very cool. This is a potentially good card. And around $70 or so in a PSA 10. This one does look very clean. I'll have to check around the edges, but looks clean all around. Corners look nice, so definitely worth saving. We will tuck this into a sleeve and check them out later. But very cool card to pull. And away we go. I think Jim Kelly will overtake our Joe Montana error card. Welcome to the podium, Jim. And we continue with Lewis Lips. Sean Collins. Kyle Clifton. Joe Nash. Vincent Brown. Now, it'd be really cool to get, there's like the Fred Marion error card where they had to airbrush part of it out. There is, we have the Bo Jackson card. We got some Barry Sanders cards. We have, another Raiders roller issue one there. Oh, speaking of these cards, we got Barry Sanders, card number 102. Here's a big one. It's almost as if we just have to say it and then it happens. Very cool. It looks in really good condition as well. Corners are very sharp. Colors are strong. Edges are really, really on point. I'm really happy with this so far. This is around $100 card in a PSA 10. So we will very gently sleeve it up and check it out later to see if it is grade worthy. But from a very, very quick look, it absolutely does look like a potential 10. So that's a cool pull, especially when we see the Super Bowl cards in the same pack, really roughed up. We see the Raiders cards roughed up. So right now we pull out a beautiful Barry Sanders in great shape. He will take our podium spot for now, and we will see what is next. We have 3 packs coming up, and we will run through them right now. So now I'm wondering, if we talked about that and it showed up, what do you want to see next? Maybe a Bo Jackson, maybe a Bill Parcells would be cool. So let's see, or even a Deion Sanders. So we got Super Bowl number 4. Barry Sanders again. Unbelievable. Back-to-back Barrys and back-to-back packs. Let's check this out. This is card number 1. It's his Rookie of the Year card in a PSA 10, worth around $175. So let's turn it over and see how the front looks. Wow. It looks very, very smooth. Good corners. I'm almost even more excited about this than the last, but I don't know if you can be. Any Barry Sanders card out of a pack is exciting, and I think this one looks really, really good. So we're going to very gently put him into a sleeve, keep those corners nice and sharp, because one corner gets dented and that $200 card becomes a $1 card very, very quickly. So we will tuck him in there. And now here's an interesting challenge. I haven't anticipated this yet. It's the battle of Barry versus Barry for our podium. Which card takes it? I think the Rookie of the Year card is going to take it because it's a little more special. So let's put Barry on the podium. On seating, other Barry. Great 2 packs, great 2 cards. Let's keep on rolling. Dean Basucci. We have Kelvin Martin. Andre Ware. Nate Odomes. David Little. Marcus Cotton. Roy Foster. David Wyman. Should I develop an announcer's voice and kind of announce these out? Sammy Smith. Get some crowd going. That could take a while, though. John Taylor. Cool 49ers team. John Robinson. Darrell Green. We're seeing on the Redskins the same rolling marks we saw on the Raiders cards. So I wonder, maybe they're alphabetical? Raiders, Redskins, who knows? Eddie Murray, 101. And 2 packs to go. What a stack. What a stack. What could be next? I think some more good. I think we're going to get at least one more good one in these next 2 packs. Super Bowl 1. Chris Miller. And one thing I do like about these cards, even though they have some damage issues, here again, 2 same cards in a row next to each other, a little bit of different colorings. This one looks darker than this. So I'm really curious what would lead to that. This is actually a good one to look at. I'm going to put these down flat and then slide one over, and then we can take a look. So they're exactly flat. And you could see even here, this one is like slightly, it looks like it's slightly higher in the border. I could be wrong, but it's very, very small. But interesting to see 2 cards literally back to back, same pack, same card. This one's a little darker, this one's a little lighter, and there are differences. So I wonder how that printing process went, where they'd put the same card, but seemingly from a different, it's different somehow. I'm not going to say different print run, but how two cards that close are different. So interesting. All right, we move along. We have card number 15, and this is going to be Walter Stanley, the punt return leader. Darryl Talley, Carnell Lake, Andre Bruce, Vaughn Johnson, Mark Levy, Bobby Humphrey, Eric Williams, Jerry Gray, Darryl Grant, and Benny Blades. What I am curious, you know how we ran into those two cards in a row, like the same player, two cards? I'm going to count, I think, the next pack, and then we'll see if that happens, if that's an extra card, or if they've inserted two cards in the same pack count. Maybe that'll give us an idea of something. Maybe not, but I am curious. Super Bowl number 2. All right, we got Deion Sanders. It's around a $46 card in a PSA 10, and this is looking really sharp. The surface is beautiful. I think if any card has a shot, this does. So let's go very carefully. Protect these corners, protect these edges, because with these older cards, you could look at it the wrong way, and that edge will start to turn white. That corner will start to dent in, and poof, there goes your cool-looking card. So I don't think Deion is going to overseat Barry in this case, though. Anytime you get a Deion card like this, very nice. We've got Joe Bogle, 265. And what I didn't do is I didn't put the cards in a stack to count them, so we won't count them now, but I'll still be curious about that extra card when they get doubled up. What happens? 81, Crawford Kerr. 27, Jack Lambert. Scott Norwood. Rufus Porter. Bill Fralick. John Forcade. Bud Carson. Lars Tate. David Grayson. Jackie Slater. Joe Gibbs. Eugene Lockhart. And that is the end of our stack of packs. Let's take a look at the winners of the day. We got Barry Sanders coming in with a very strong number 1. And Ted Hendricks, we have Barry Sanders coming in as a strong number 2. And we got a couple other great ones. We got Deion, Jim Kelly, Joe Montana, and Jerry Rice. So I don't know if we swing some of these around to fit them all in. But when you're looking at football players and you're looking at pulls from some packs, what a great collection right here. Definitely some surprises, and they just kept coming. So really fun. Hope you learned something. Hope you had a good time. And there you have it. Until next time.